Hello, welcome to the channel. I hope you're all well. So this video is all about a phenomenon known as change blindness. Now, for an airline pilot, a helicopter pilot, this is something that is it's very, very important to recognize in terms of crew resource management and what I teach in terms of crew resource management. On certain elements, I will focus on this element of change blindness, and it's really our inability, humans inability to detect change, to see something that's going on in front of their eyes and not process it properly. And this links into our concepts or ideas of perception, what we're recognizing, how the brain interprets different information, that information processing element. But it's also about our ability to maintain attention, also to be vigilant. And they all sound like very similar words, but they have slightly different meanings as well in terms of crew resource management. But it's our inability to detect change and how we can counteract that in terms of scanning, in terms of actively looking for something, being actively mindful of something that could occur, that could be missing. So you could go onto YouTube and you can see lots of videos of backgrounds changing before your eyes, and you don't even recognize it because you're being slightly distracted by something else that might be going on, or by the narrator talking about a particular story. Let's say you might see somebody playing sports, and in the background something else is happening. The classic one is the Simmons trial, where they got a group of people playing basketball, and then a gorilla walks straight through, or a person dressed in a gorilla suit walks straight through the shot, and nobody sees it. And you kind of think, well, what is actually going on? What is this change blindness, and what happened? Why is it happening? And it's all to do with our ability to perceive objects and visual cues, our ability to process that, and all the different human factors, elements that influence that, and then how we can manufacture a system, a state of being, as it were, to be able to counteract that in terms of scanning, in terms of SOPs, in terms of mindfulness, in terms of what we're actually doing, what job we're actually doing, whether it's a pilot, whether it's a machine operator, whether it's driving a truck. How systems are designed to help us, where lights are positioned in terms of warning lights. Are they in our eye line? Are instruments designed to be more attention grabbing, that kind of thing? So in terms of change blindness, we can use that in terms of designing systems, designing components that attract us even more, or we can design an approach to using systems, an approach to working that limits that issue, that inability to detect change, that inability to detect when something is going wrong, when there's a change in a parameter, the temperature is going up, the pressure is going down. Whatever it is, we as pilots, but also as people, we always need to be able to detect change, and constantly looking at different things as opposed to just trying to focus on a single thing all the time. That's a much better way of doing it. Change your focus, change your scan, look at multiple different things. And we're actually terrible at just focusing on one thing for a longer period of time. We can do it for a short period of time, but for a longer period of time. We're also terrible at trying to do multiple things at the same time. This is not a male thing. This is not a female thing. This is about human beings. They're just terrible at multitasking. You might believe that you can multitask, do lots of things at the same time, but the reality, you're switching. You're going from one focus item to another focus item, maybe retaining a bit of attention on what you were doing, or have some mindfulness of something, but you're actually switching from one to another, then back again. So that's not multitasking, that's just switching. And in terms of being a pilot, say, or a machine operator or anything like that, where you perceive that you have to do lots of things at the same time. The reality is we're just switching from one short attention span to another, not to focus on an element for too long, because our attention and our vigilance and our ability to monitor something gets greatly reduced over a period of time. So this is what, in terms of visual scanning, we're looking from left to right, we're changing our gaze. We're looking outside the cockpit, then inside the cockpit, then out again. We're doing multiple things at the same time, but to different levels. So our best performance is when we focus on a certain object or a certain task for a short amount of time. And then that also helps us to detect any changes that are going on. So to minimize our susceptibility to this change blindness phenomenon. If you like what I do here, keep on watching, and I'll catch you again. Bye now.